time-lapse of the entire universe. If you could watch the entire universe in fast motion, almost everything humanity has ever known would appear at the very end. The rise of the cities, the birth of civilizations, the building of pyramids, and the invention of machines. The first rockets leaving Earth. All of it would happen in the final blink. For most of the universe story, there were no humans to witness it. No Earth, no sun, no planets, no oceans, no life. It was only a young, violent cosmos slowly shaping itself out of darkness, heat, gravity, and time. The universe is about 13.8 billion years old, but that number is almost impossible to feel. It's too large for the human mind to hold properly. We understand days, years, and lifetimes, but billions of years are something else entirely. On that scale, stars live and die like sparks. Galaxies collide like slow-moving storms. Entire worlds are born, destroyed, and forgotten before anything else like us ever appears. This is the story of the entire universe. First moment of expansion to the tiny point in time where human beings finally open their eyes and look back. The first moment. In the beginning, there were no stars, no planets, and no empty space in the way we imagine it now. The universe was incredibly hot, dense, and compressed into a state so extreme that normal human language begins to fail. Then came expansion. Space itself began stretching outward. In a fraction of a second, the young universe grew at a speed and scale beyond anything we experience today. This early period helped set the stage for everything that would come after: matter, energy, galaxies, stars, planets, and eventually, life. But the early universe was not beautiful in the way we imagine space now. It was a burning fog of particles and radiation. Light existed, but it could not travel freely. The universe was too hot and crowded. Photons were constantly scattered, trapped inside a cosmic storm. For hundreds of thousands of years, the universe remained like this, bright, dense, and unreadable. Then, as it expanded, it cooled. The first light. About 380,000 years after the beginning, the universe became cool enough for atoms to form. Electrons joined with nuclei. Suddenly, light could move through space without being constantly blocked. This was the first light that could travel freely across the universe. Today, we still detect its afterglow as the cosmic microwave background. A faint radiation spreads across the sky in every direction. It's one of the oldest things we can observe, almost like a baby picture of the universe. But after the first light, the universe entered a long darkness. There were atoms, but no stars. There were no galaxies glowing in the distance, no planets orbiting suns, just vast clouds of hydrogen and helium drifting through space, waiting for gravity to begin its slow work. For millions of years, the universe was dark, and then, somewhere in that darkness, the first stars began to form. The birth of the stars. Gravity pulled gas together into growing clouds. The clouds became denser, hotter, and more unstable. Eventually, the pressure inside them became so intense that nuclear fusion began. The first stars ignited. These early stars were not like the sun. Many were massive, bright, and short-lived. They burned quickly and violently, pouring light into a universe that had never seen stars before. For the first time, the darkness began to break. But stars did more than shine. Inside their cores, they created heavier elements. The early universe was mostly hydrogen and helium, but stars became the furnaces that forged carbon, oxygen, iron, and many of the elements needed for planets and life. When massive stars died, they exploded, throwing those elements into space. Their deaths seeded the universe with the ingredients for everything that would come later. In a strange way, the universe had to destroy its first stars in order to build the future. The rise of galaxies. Over time, stars gathered into galaxies. These galaxies were pulled together by gravity and shaped by dark matter, forming vast cosmic structures across space. Small galaxies collided and merged into larger ones. Clouds of gas collapsed into new generations of stars. black holes grew at the centers of galaxies, feeding on matter and shaping their surroundings. The universe was no longer a smooth ocean of gas. It had structure. It had glowing islands of stars separated by enormous voids. It had clusters, filaments, and cosmic webs stretching across distances so large they are almost impossible to imagine. Somewhere in one of those galaxies, our own Milky Way began to take shape. It did not appear all at once. It grew over billions of years through collisions, mergers, and the slow gathering of stars. Long before the sun existed, the galaxy that would one day become our home was already forming. The birth of the solar system. About 4.5 billion years ago, in one quiet region of the Milky Way, a cloud of gas and dust began to collapse. At the center, the sun was born. Around it, leftover material formed a spinning disk. Inside that disk, tiny grains collided and stuck together. Small rocks became large rocks. Larger bodies became planets. Out of this violent process, the solar system took shape. Earth was not peaceful at first. It was hot, unstable, and constantly bombarded by asteroids and debris. Its surface was molten. Its atmosphere was toxic. There were no oceans, no blue skies, and no life. But slowly, the planet cooled. A crust formed. Water gathered, the moon stabilized Earth's motion and influenced its tides. The conditions for life began to appear. In the long timeline of the universe, Earth was late, but for us, it was everything. The rise of life. Life began quietly, not with animals, forests, or voices, but with simple chemistry becoming something more. The first life was microscopic, hidden at oceans or ancient environments we are still trying to understand. For billions of years, life remained small. Single-celled organisms dominated the planet, changing Earth slowly from the inside out. Then came one of the most important transformations in our planet's history. Oxygen began to build in the atmosphere. That change made more complex life possible, but it also reshaped the entire planet. Earth was becoming something new, not just a rock orbiting a star, but a world alive with chemistry, energy, and evolution. Eventually, complex cells appeared, then animals, then life moved into the seas in more visible and dramatic forms. Later, planets and animals spread onto land. The planet filled with forests, insects, reptiles, mammals, and creatures stranger than fiction. The universe had gone from darkness to stars, from stars to elements, from elements to planets, and from planets to life. The Age of Giants. For a long time, dinosaurs ruled the land. They walked through forests, crossed deserts, hunted, nested, and filled the planet with life on a scale that still captures our imagination. But Earth's story has always included catastrophe. An asteroid impact helped end the age of the dinosaur, changing the direction of evolution forever. In the aftermath, mammals began to rise. From small survivors came a new branch of life. Over millions of years, primates evolved. Some came down from the trees, some learned to walk upright. Hands became tools, sounds became language, memory became culture, and then, very late in the story, humans appeared. The human moment. If the entire history of the universe were compressed into a short film, human civilization would barely appear before the ending. Recorded history would be less than a final flicker. Every empire, every war, every invention, every person who ever lived would fit into the last tiny fraction of the cosmic timeline. That thought is humbling. Everything that feels ancient to us is young to the universe. The pyramids are young. Language is young. Agriculture is young. Even our species is young. And yet, in that final moment, something remarkable happened. The universe became aware of itself. Matter arranged into minds capable of asking where it came from. Atoms forged inside dead stars became eyes, brains, hands, telescopes, and spacecraft. We are not separate from the universe looking at it from outside. We are part of it, briefly awake, trying to understand this story that made us. A time lapse of the entire universe does not make humanity look meaningless. makes this moment feel rare. For billions of years, the universe changed without anyone here to witness it. Stars were born and died in silence. Galaxies formed in darkness. Earth cooled. Oceans gathered. Life struggled forward, and slowly, consciousness emerged. We arrived late, but we arrived with questions. The universe is ancient, vast, and almost impossible to measure against a human life. But every person who looks up at the night sky is connected to that entire story. The calcium in our bones, the iron in our blood, the oxygen we breathe, all of it was shaped by cosmic history. The story of the universe is not just the story of space, it is the story of how darkness became light, how stars became worlds, and how one small planet eventually produced beings capable of asking what it all means. And maybe that's the most extraordinary part of the time lapse. After 13.8 billion years of silence, the universe finally created something that could look back and wonder why it exists.